Hey guys, it's Chris back again for another small engine review video right here. This is one of my customers brought this machine over here about 2-3 days ago, and I thought it was a pretty good idea to do a review of it because we only see maybe one of these per season over here due to the actual age of the machine. This is a 1986 Toro non-self-propelled walk-behind lawnmower. The guy brought over here and said he's the original owner, and he have that past almost 30 years right now, and he wanted us to get the thing tuned up over here. Plus also he claimed he took it to another shop here in McKeesport. Unfortunately, I don't want to give their names out to embarrass them on the internet, because he was claiming the machine wasn't starting right, wouldn't idle, and I was having other problems with it as well too. And unfortunately the shop he took it to did not know even the basic principles of repairing of small engines out there for that. They were trying to do every stupid thing out to try to get it running properly, and what happened was they were dicking around with the actual governor linkage on here, and get this bug off me, sorry about that. And they screwed up the linkage on here. They actually had the linkage in the non-proper area right here. What happened was, right here is where the linkage is supposed to be at right now. For reference, guys, if you need any problems with like linkage and linkage help, your linkage is supposed to be just like this on a almost like an L-shaped angle. What they did at the place the guy took it before us was this linkage right here was sticking straight up in the area. This little tit right here that's coming out of the block right here, this thing was basically vertical with this angle piece right here in the vertical position sticking up, and it was rubbing not properly on the arm right here, plus the other arm they were bent up on it as well too. And apparently the other shop didn't know what the heck they were doing out there. Unfortunately, we get that a lot of times everywhere. Like people buy something at a flea market or a hawk shop or a pawn shop, or they take it to some other guy, and unfortunately they don't have the proper information or necessary competency to do the repairs properly. And that was one of the biggest problems this guy had with this machine right here after he took it to the air shop, and they could not solve it, and they actually made it worse. So just be aware of the fact that whenever you do take it to a shop, make sure they have experience working on the item you're actually taking it to them for repairs, because if they don't know how to repair it properly, or if they don't have the technical know-how or any kind of resources online, or the old style handbooks from service and the shop mails, they will not know how to do their proper job at all for that. So I'll give you another shot of the engine's deck down here in the frame right here for that. This is a 20586 model number. Serial number is 9007510. This guy claims, he told me he bought it back in the I think 86 or 87, and he's the original owner. And as you see, the wheels are pretty shot in the front right there for that. But overall, this is a good deck on here. I really like these machines. They build them a lot better, the old ones right there for that, because it proves that this machine's still running out there. It doesn't have any smoking or knocking out there and stuff like that, so it's still in overall great shape engine wise and deck wise too. Plus you also have a nice called chrome handlebar in here as well too, to keep the rust down as well too. That's always a nice thing they put on there, because chrome will not rust if you keep it out of the elements for most of the time, as opposed to the newer handles they have on it that are either bare metal or like some kind of real cheap I want to call it cheap plating, or this spray paint on there as well too, and they tend to rust if you leave them outside as well too. But so it's always a good idea to keep them in the house or your basement, shed, wherever you have out there, to keep the machine from rusting out there as well too. So let me give you a front shot of the machine as well too, guys. There you go. There's the front shot, and here's the other side shot with the engine's spark plug right there as well too. So there you go. The other problem these machines have is, unfortunately, they have the fuel line that routes underneath the engine right there. It goes in front of the what we'll call cylinder head right there for that too, and you can't really do anything about that. Just keep an eye on the fuel line, make sure it doesn't get hot or burned or anything else like that. I don't know why they would route that way. I'd personally route around the actual back of the engine myself on here, because you have the problem with the heat possibly affecting the fuel line over time. And as you see right there, it has the somebody put Goodyear fuel line. It was not us. I can tell you that for a fact. We do not use Goodyear fuel line. We only use the Honda, the Briggs & Stratton, and the Tecumseh fuel line over here for most lawn and garden equipment such as this right here for that. So somebody put an aftermarket piece of fuel line on it. You know, it's all swelled up on it, and it's a bit old and stretched, to say the least. And this is a TVS 100 engine they have on here. Let me see, just clean this up here for you a little bit. It's a TVS 100 4401. I think it's a 6.8 on, or I think, or 6.5. Can't remember. I can't see it too good right now. Sorry about that. I apologize for that. But it's a TVS 100. So that's the engine they have, which is basically about a 4.5, 5 horsepower engine on here specifically. And the other thing I want to mention here as well too, the governor linkage spring on here. The one linkage spring the guy had on here was completely effed up on here. It looked like somebody tried to bend the thing out of whack on there. And the other linkage spring, because you have two spring, or I should say you have two linkage cables on there, I should say specifically. You have the one spring for the governor right here with the rod on here, and you have a second one up underneath there as well too. So you actually have two linkage cables right there for that. And whoever was working on this previous to us, they bent both of them up on there for that, because apparently they didn't know what they were doing. As I said before, unfortunately that happens from people who do not have you know, proper service manuals or information on specific machines out there for that. So you have to be aware you have people who do not have the proper competency for that, as I said before. So I'll go ahead and fire this thing up right now for you guys, and you can see how this thing runs after it was fixed by us over here. It still needs a new fuel line on her, and that's probably about it right now. So I'll go ahead and fire this thing up here for you guys, and you can see it running, because it was not running when the guy originally brought it over here because of the linkage problem, plus the other rod coming out of the actual governor, out of the cylinder block itself under two of the force. That's this thing fired up here for you guys while I try to hold this camera steady here. So bear with me here for a couple seconds here, guys. So hold on here. Here we go. So there you go. There's high speed right there. Running great right now. Still got a little bit of surging in there though. So let me bring the RPMs back down. There's low speed right there for that. It's around, probably around 1500 right there for low speed, and about 31 on high speed right there for that. So that's how the Tecumseh should start whenever it's running in good shape overall. It doesn't have any knocking or pinging or clanking or whatever you want to call it underneath it. Because we get guys calling up saying their machine's banging, clanging, and knocking, whatever else out there. So you just got to realize what's going on with it whenever people try to tell you some, you know, basic information about your machine right there for that. So anybody has any comments, questions, whatnot about this machine here, just feel free to leave me a quick message at the bottom of the page, and I'll try to get back to you quickly, probably within 24 hours after the message is put on the board. I'll see you guys. Have a nice day.